Hi, everyone. It's time for another Still Team Human book review. And this time around, we're talking about Adolfo Carreno's book, Strategic Negotiation in Organizational Transformation, a practitioner's guide to the conversations that determine whether change succeeds. The title tells you like it is, and it is an easy read that I highly recommend. This is a refreshing take on change management. While Adolfo is not reinventing the wheel, he is offering people a new and fresh way to approach transformation. He asks leaders to consider their task to be negotiating the change with employees rather than that step by step type of system that we're used to. He recommends getting true buy in by thinking about what people really want, what the individual's interest is. You must ask what's in it for them and dangle that carrot as a means of getting people to join you on the journey of change, to actually agree to the change and take the transformation to the next level. He talks about the fact that a lot of people pay lip service to change. They agree to change when leaders ask them to commit to it. However, when they go back to their desks and to their conference calls and meetings, they kind of revert back to what they were doing previously, especially if they're still getting rewarded for performance measures and things from the past. And he says to overcome this, you have to look at what each individual needs and what they can get out of actually doing the transformation. Um, some of the things that Carreno does is be very transparent about the system and what we're really used to. He's frank about the fact that people often say one thing and do another, and then the transformation does not succeed, or it begins to succeed and falls flat midway through. And what is brilliant in the book is that he paints a picture of shifting leverage and describes how leaders must both take advantage and succumb to the leverage at different points in the process. And the leaders kind of have to know where you are in the process to arrive at that conclusion. The leaders kick things off, for example, and have the power, they have the leverage when they are strategizing and making initial decisions about the change, why it's happening, and how it will be executed. And then it's put into the hands of the people who actually have to do the execution, who do the work on the ground, who roll up their sleeves and get dirty, so to speak. And at that point, the power changes. The leverage now is residing with the employees, those who are making the change happen. And that requires renegotiating the change, reconsidering what each of the parties need from this, what they can get from this, how the change and following through on it benefits both parties. Negotiations are a compromise. It's about finding out what each party needs and wants and then coming up with something that allows both of them to win a little and maybe both of them to give up a little something too. It definitely leads to more success because people feel more invested and more like this will count for them for something. In any event, there are many great examples, concrete examples, stories of Adolfo's experience and those of others he talks to that can highlight how this could actually work in real life. And that's very important when you're writing a book like this. I think it helps the reader relate to it. You can put yourself in their shoes. And I think it helps you understand this process of change management through the lens of negotiations and how you may be able to have a more successful outcome at the end, so that your transformation doesn't just start, but continues to happen and then has some conclusion, which might be continuous checking in on it. I might not be an end point for any of these transformations, but the point is that you will have had some sort of success, reached some sort of achievement with the transformation rather than losing the narrative, losing the story, and losing the people in the process. In any case, as I said, I recommend reading it. It's an easy read and it can help you overcome many of the obstacles that are put in the way of change as organizations try to transform themselves. And I think that's important right now because we really all do need to transform. We have to be open to change, and we have to learn that it's going to be the only constant, the only certainty that we have. So we have to learn to adapt and adopt. Adopt the new technologies, adopt the new processes, adopt the new procedures. I hope you'll take a look at the book, give it a read, and let us know what you think. And we'll be back next week with another book review. Thanks so much, everyone.